What's up, everyone? This is AJ here, and welcome to another edition of My Seven Chakras. I've got a bad cold this morning, so apologize for that in advance. And with me, we have my special guest, Myrna Lou, who I'm going to introduce to you in a bit. But before that, if you are joining this session, if you're joining this live, then make sure that you know that this is an interactive session, so you can add your comments, your feedback, your thoughts, and I'll try to feature them on today's session. And if you're on Facebook, then make sure that you share this stream into a Facebook group or to a Facebook page or to your own Facebook wall as well, so that other people can join this session. This is going to be streamed on YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button so that we can spread this message to as far and wide as possible. Today's topic is going to be about palmistry. All right. So we're going to get started in a few seconds. Again, if you're joining this live, welcome to today's session. All right. Three, two, one. What's up, Action Tribe? AJ here, host and founder of My Seven Chakras, my7chakras.com, where we help you experience more healing, more awakening, and more abundance. In today's episode, we're going to explore the timeless practice of palmistry, something that is so exciting and so much awaited, right? A lot of people have been requesting this topic on our show, especially as we enter a new age in 2020. But before that, I'd like to remind you that we've launched our brand new energy mentorship experience called the Action Tribe Energy Circle. If you'd like to learn how to raise your vibrations and experience effortless healing, awakening, and abundance in 2020 and beyond, then you must check out what we've created for you. The link is my7chakras.com / join us. It's my7chakras.com / join us. My7chakras.com / join us. I'll see you there. So for now, let's bring on our special guest for today. Now, our guest has documented and read over 55,909 palms. That I think is updated as on last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so more than that, she teaches classes in palmistry with an insightful explanation of the lines and symbols on the palm and is accurate, compassionate, and she listens so wonderfully. The modality employed is referred to as Asian Palmistry. She has corresponded with people in over 93 countries for palm readings. Currently, the only master palmist in the world who can guest on radio show and read palms live from scanned computer palm prints. And she's a second time guest on our show. So please welcome Myrna Lou. Hey,
Hi,
Myrna.
how are you? I'm so glad to be here. This is going to be fun.
Yes, I'm glad to have you on our show as well. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We have people joining in already. So if you are here live, make sure you add a comment below. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what is on your mind today. So, Myrna, as we always do on every show, what is that one quote, that inspiring quote that you have on your mind right now? And
Well, the
how do
one
you
that,
apply it in your life?
okay, I like Wayne Dwyer. So he
Hmm.
had, I'm just going to read it.
Sure.
So it says, change is good and it makes the world go around. Stay in the same place and you're stagnating. So you have to embrace change. Everybody should. But what he said that's important to me was intuitively, you can get messages. And he wrote a book that I love, and it's called The Intuitive. Um, oh, now I can't think of it. Just a minute. The book he wrote that I looked at is how people treat you is their karma.
Hmm.
How you react is yours.
Yeah.
People have karma, but so do we.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I love Wayne Dyer. I love how he explained some of the concepts, not only in his book, but in his live performance as well. And it's so true. I mean, the fact that your mind is more powerful than we give it credit, and what we think of most of the time becomes true, right?
Well, a thought is an idea, and the idea you can make it happen. Yeah. So the book he wrote
Yeah.
was called The Power of Intention. He wrote 17, but this is my favorite one. It's 365 pages, and each page only has one thing on it. So you read that page, and then the next day you can read the next one, and they're just like quotes. 365. So
Wonderful.
it's a good book. Very
Great, great.
interesting.
Thanks a lot for sharing that amazing quote with us. So, Myrna, how did it all begin for you? How did you discover palmistry?
Well, I was about 10 years old. I went to a hospital where my mother was a nurse for a ride home, and she couldn't leave. She said the next shift never showed up. I have to stay 8 more hours. And little kids get antsy and noisy. And she just grabbed a book off of the book wagon. It was a volunteer wagon. And she said, "Quick, read this." She sat me
Mm,
down on a leather couch in the lobby, and I read for 8 hours with dinner in between. And I couldn't understand one word in the book, but every page had a different illustration on it of a hand. And
yeah.
I memorized every illustration. So then I
Wow.
went back every day for 6 months and I read that same book a little bit more each day. And then I was confident I could do it. And I did my sister, and she was 6 when I was 10. So
Mhm.
to this day, she walks with her hands behind her back and she thinks I'm not going to look at her hand. But once I do a hand, I memorize it and I know it for the rest of my life. So I know what's on there. We have
Wow.
changes, and change shows up in the hand too. But
Yeah.
you're born with certain innate personality qualities that show up.
Hmm.
Okay, so
So you were 10 years old,
yeah, so I
and
learned from that book. Yeah.
that's amazing. Do you still remember what book that was?
Well, here's the thing: I couldn't find that book, and I went looking for 45
Wow.
years. I didn't know the author or the title.
Yeah.
And one day I read a man in Boulder, Colorado, near where I lived at a fair, and he said, I have a book that sounds just like you. And I
Hmm.
described the book, and he says, I have it. He bought it at an antique store in Maine. He's from Colorado. He gave it to me, and I gave him one of mine.
Right.
So it validates everything that I say because I memorized that book. That's exactly right. But meanwhile, I had written my own book called "May I See Your Hand,"
Yeah.
because that's what I say to everybody. And it made my "May I See Your Hand" book really more valuable to me because the real book that I learned from was written in 1895 by a Chinese man.
Right.
Okay?
It's remarkable. It's a wonderful story. Uh, the fact that you, as a kid, were in that hospital and your mom had to do another shift, and you found that book, and lo and behold, you were engrossed and you were reading that book, right? So,
Mhm.
how was your childhood like? How was it like living in your household?
What was the question?
How was your childhood like? What
Fine.
was it
It's
like?
normal. Played
Yeah,
outside from daylight till dark.
yeah,
Had a good time.
yeah.
We played every game you could think of outside. The alley. We played ball. We played hide and
Mm,
seek. So it was a good one. Except
wonderful.
I always knew when somebody was going to get in trouble ahead of time because my intuitive stuff kicked in.
Mm.
See, I was starting to, even at a young age, pick up on things.
Got it, got it. So tell us more about that. I mean, the fact that you had already begun reading that book, right? And started reading in people's palms, and then you had these psychic senses, these intuitive
Right. Well,
senses. How?
it went together.
Okay.
So when you do something, it's like when you do palmistry, it's like a
Yeah.
muscle. The more you use something, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
So at 10, I wasn't that good, but by 16, I was starting to get 50% right. So I
Hmm.
thought that was pretty good. So then what happened is I would know when there's going to be a fire drill before we have one, because
Hmm.
somehow in the ethers I pick it up and I just tell everybody, like, don't take a shower when you're in college at 2 o'clock in the morning because we're going to have a fire drill. And they say, you're so full of it, you don't know. Sure enough,
Yeah.
we have the fire drill. And then they want to know where I saw it written down, and I never saw it written down. I just knew. Okay.
Right.
But the worst story I could tell you is I was in a bank with a fistful of money this high because I'd
Hmm.
done a big fair, and I was about 10 or 12 people back. And three men came in, about two people behind me, and they stood three abreast. Nobody does that. When you go to the bank, you stand in line for the teller, friends wait on you. And I
Yeah.
got a bad feeling. Something said to me, go, go. So I picked up I grabbed my money and I ran out the door and I drove home. and it's a 15-minute car ride. When I got home, I put the radio on. The bank had just been robbed.
Oh,
The woman in line in front of me got shot in the elbow. They shot it up in the ceiling and it ricocheted back. See, so that was called flight and fright.
yeah,
Flew
yeah,
because I knew
yeah.
it was not good. But that's not palmistry. That was picking up from the ethers again. I just got the feeling.
Right. So, do you feel as you look back in retrospect that there was something connected? The fact that you were reading these palms, you were tapping into something within you that was able to uh, allow you to better understand what was going on psychically.
Evidently, my psychic ability was opening up. I was starting to pick
Right.
up, and I didn't know that at the time. But that's what that was. I could channel people, and I didn't know what channeling meant. Never heard the word
Yeah.
before, but I could actually do people without them knowing it.
Got it.
So,
So, okay. So you are you're growing older and you're getting more and more interested in palmistry and you're beginning to awaken your psychic senses. So what steps did you take to sort of enhance and strengthen your skill at
well,
the practice of palmistry?
I'm self taught. I didn't go to any classes or do anything. And
Right.
the type that I do is Asian, it's not Hindu. So it's
Yeah.
complicated, but not as bad, not as hard to learn as the other way.
Okay.
And the thing is, I did as many people as I could so that
Mm-hmm.
it's practicing. So, when you take piano lessons, you do it with one hand,
Yeah.
then you do it with two hands, then you use a foot pedal and two hands. So I was
Yeah.
up to two pedals and a foot hand. By the time I was 20 and I got married, I was doing married couples, people at
Mm.
PTA meetings, people wherever I went, and I was getting more for no money. I was just practicing.
Yeah.
Then one day I decided maybe I should be in a fair. So I
Yeah.
signed up for the first fair I ever did, and I was petrified, but I did it. And everybody lined up all the way around the block. And
Mm.
oh my God, I must have something. They like it. And they came.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Uh, so the other day I was talking to a friend and I told her that I was going to interview you, right? And
Mhm.
she asked me this question: do you really believe in palmistry? And she said, how can the lines on your palm tell you about your destiny? So what would you say to such a person who wants to
Okay.
believe but just needs a better idea about
All right. I've had many
the
people who are
connection?
skeptics, and I could tell
Yeah.
you a skeptic story later. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you're born with a hand. It's this big, right?
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
tiny hand. And the hand has lines on it already because the brain makes the lines. So when that baby grows up, it doesn't have any experiences as newborn. It's just what it came into the world with. Then the baby is 10, it's 16, it's 20, whatever amazing things or things that impacted the brain happen, it's going to show up on their hand.
Mm.
So an engagement is exciting. It's going to show up. High school graduation, exciting. It shows up. A big sickness, but you get over it, shows up. So every single thing that happens, the brain
Yeah.
has to process it first, and
Yeah.
then it shows up 6 months later on it. So the woman who
Right.
was a skeptic who didn't know if it's right or not, it is a science. It's a science. It's not woo woo. And
Mm.
so people who are skeptic go, I don't believe in this stuff. And then
Yeah.
I show them a few things or one thing even, and they
Yeah.
go, oh, and then they're interested. Uh,
Okay.
so I did President Gerald Ford, and it was at a big thing in Colorado where I lived. And he was
Yeah.
the keynote, and it was called Cirque du Soleil. And they
Mhm.
had 10 entertainers, two belly dancers, two palm readers, two jugglers, two of everything. He got in my line with the Secret Service. And I
Mhm.
didn't know who he was because they weren't around him exactly. They were sort of over to the side. And he sat down and told me, I'm going to tell every single person here you're a fake if you don't tell me one thing at least that I know that you don't know. So I made a little prayer to myself, which I usually don't ask for me, but I prayed, please make me brilliant. So I told him something that only he and I would know. He jumped up and yelled, I'm a believer. And the Secret
Uh,
Service were on me like you wouldn't believe. They were
Sorry,
all
which president is this again?
Gerald Ford. It was a
Oh,
long time ago,
oh,
but he was in
wonderful.
the, I think it was in the 90s even.
Okay.
And so when I was done, he gave me a $10 tip, which I didn't expect anything. I was amazed. But then he said, now I'm going to tell every single person downstairs to come up here and see you.
Right.
Then I did Ivana Trump at the same
Oh, you
event.
did?
And I
Oh,
told her she's
okay.
going to be divorced. And she goes, "Oh, no, me and the Donald are like this." 2 weeks later, they got divorced.
So you don't hold back from negative
I tell
news
the
also.
truth. Why would I lie? I could make up better stories. My imagination's good, but I tell what
Right.
I see there. So when she
Right.
got in my line, she had a skirt on that was so short she couldn't sit down. I had to read her standing up because
Hmm.
the skirt was too short, too
Yeah.
tight. It was leather.
Yeah.
Then I did at that same party movie stars, people you would have heard of.
Yeah.
Did Sly Stallone, Kevin
Hmm.
Bacon,
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood. Those are all
Hmm.
movie stars, but their hand is the same as ours.
Yeah.
They just, their ego is a little bigger. But it
Yeah.
was really interesting. They all liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody but Ivana Trump didn't believe me. And that was
Yeah.
supposed to happen.
So when you share a negative news or what might be perceived as negative news, do you ever worry, especially if that person is maybe influential, that might have a negative repercussion on your ability to get more clients or people to
Um,
read your palm?
Usually it's word of mouth, and I do a lot of fairs. And I used to do big fairs. I did 28 a year
Yeah.
in Colorado. That's a lot of fairs. There's only 52 weeks in the year.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would do 20 or 30 people in a day.
Yeah.
And we did 20-minute readings. So all those people told their relatives and friends if they liked it. My
Yeah.
phone rang off the hook.
Yeah.
So then I do radio like this,
Hmm.
or I do TV. And what happens is if one person really likes what they have, they're going to tell five other people, and maybe
Right.
only one of them will call me. But it just kept going. I was going to
Right.
retire this year in November when I hit a big birthday.
Mm.
And I said, at 80, I shouldn't be working, but I love this so much, I can't give it
Yeah.
up. I have so
Yeah.
much fun and I meet so many interesting people. I'm not going to quit. My voice is
Yes.
quitting. I'm losing my voice from talking too much. But as long as my eyes work and I can squeak out a reading, I'm going to do it.
That's
And then
wonderful.
when I do them on the internet, I don't talk because I'm typing.
Yeah.
And then I send it
Yes.
to the person. And then if they have questions, they call me.
Got
I
it.
allow that. I don't care. If they need clarification of something, I help them.
So
So
this form of palmistry that you mentioned is called Asian palmistry. How is that unique? How's
why
that
is it
different?
different?
Yeah.
Because Hindu has a head line, a heart line, a fate line, and I
Hmm.
believe the whole hand is your fate. It's
Oh,
what you
okay.
came into this world to do, to accomplish, to have happen to you. And
Hmm.
I believe that the heart line is really love, and I believe the head line is really your lifeline. So when I do one, or here, I don't know if you could see my hand,
Yeah, I
I
can see it now.
call I call the lifeline this one that starts on the baby finger side here, goes across to here. Then
Hmm.
there's a fork at the end of it, and the fork is your IQ.
Okay.
So everybody has that too. So I have a diagram. Maybe I could put that up.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it's different, but I get the same answers that a Hindu gets, which is
S-
really funny. Somebody will go to somebody who does Hindu at a fair, then
Yeah.
they'll come to me and they said, "I just heard that over there." Same thing. So here's my diagram.
So for people who might be on podcast listening, if you can just explain a bit, that would be awesome too.
Okay, so when I do a hand, I do five basic lines first. So
Okay.
I do life, love, work, the bracelets, and then I do reproduction.
Okay.
So a lot of people I do are done with reproduction. They don't want to hear it. So I say, well, we can skip that, or I can tell you that you had four children, and two are boys and two are girls. Yeah, how do you know that? It's right
Okay.
on the hand. Okay,
Mm.
so I have fun with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Um, so I'm just trying to get a better idea over here. Um, you told us about the different lines, and for someone who is completely new to this, what sort of information can a person glean from their palm? Could
Okay,
you
so
talk
the
to us about?
first thing, if you're in person with me, I'd say fold your hands up.
Yeah.
So I know you two. And what thumb is on top? Look and
Right.
see.
Mm-hmm.
And you were born left-handed, right? Aren't you
Mm-hmm.
left-handed?
Mm-hmm.
That means that you came in as a right-handed baby and you were independent even as a child, and you made yourself left-handed. My left comes
Mm.
out. I don't know if you can see it. my left is on top, and I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
So I came as a lefty, and in my generation, they didn't want left-handed children, so my mother switched me. She just
Oh.
made me learn with the right. So
Yeah.
the advantage for me is I have both sides. The advantage for you is you have both sides. And the person who was born right and their right thumb comes up only has one side. And so they hear one thing coming in their ear, we hear two.
Yeah.
Hear na 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 na, and it's our guides or angels or somebody telling us, do this, go that way, don't do this. And they only have, so they have an advantage in a way because they don't have two, because we might not know which one is the good one, and we might listen to the wrong side.
Oh,
So,
okay.
let's say I'm coming to your house and I have
Hmm.
directions, and my little voice says, "Turn left here. You can save 10 minutes. Go down that way." And
Yeah.
then I get lost. I have to call you and say I made a little wrong turn. I'll
Yeah.
be back. I'll be there 10 minutes late. I have to turn around, retrace my steps, get back to where I was, and listen to your direction. Not listen to
Mm.
the little voice. See, so a righty only has one voice to listen to, and
Yeah.
we have two.
I get it. I get it. Now it makes sense. So it's, are you saying that as someone who is, either born a lefty turns a righty, born a righty turns a lefty,
Right?
might have
They have two.
multiple directions that they can possibly take in their life, and they need to really spend some time in contemplation or maybe finding themselves to find their direction? I- Could that be?
No, that's not what that means. It
No.
means that your tendencies are a left, even if my tendencies are a lefty. Even though I'm a right-handed person, my mother
Yeah.
switched me, but you
Yeah.
don't give up what you were born with. So I've been married 3 times to a lefty because I'm
Okay.
one of them. Okay. So you're a righty, but you're really a lefty because you told me you were, but actually you came in as a right. And so
Okay.
you have two voices, I have two.
Mm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the advantage is sometimes one voice is strong and you can't ignore it. It really tells you, do this now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little tiny voice that says, you might want to do this. And you just ignore it.
Right.
See? But a righty has only one voice, so they're going to hear it and pay attention to it. So I call it Smitty, which is I made up a name for the little voices. The
Okay.
Smitty on this side or the Smitty on like Smith, only Smitty.
Yeah. Okay, so for someone who's new to this field, and I'm sure that people listening to this conversation right now are, the ears are perked up, they're very fascinated, very curious about this. Could you help us break down the role and significance of each line? Because you've
Okay.
shared multiple lines so far.
Okay, so the lifeline has to do with coming down the womb from the mother being birth, the birth.
Okay.
Then it has your entire life up to the point where you are, but it also extends out to where you're supposed to go. But I
Hmm.
never tell a person you're supposed to live to 90 because you
Yeah.
could be 95 or 91. I don't know
Right.
because you can always go further than your line says. So
Hmm.
mine says 85. I'm not going to be done talking in 5 years. I already know that. So I'll probably go to 92 or 93 because I'm a strong person and I'm
Yeah.
full of it. And when you have a lot of energy like I have and you're doing as many things as I do, might as well go out further. So the lines don't define you and say, oh, that's the day you're going to die. It's what
Yeah.
your gene pool is, it's who you come from. So I come from people who didn't live very long. Some of them only made it to 78, like my father, or some
Mm.
of them made it to 82 or 85, but I don't have many that made it to 92.
Hmm.
See, they didn't have the drive and the determination that I have. When
So the
you're
lifeline is
okay, would be the starts on the baby finger side, about an inch down from
this
your
one.
fingers, and it goes across towards the middle of your hand, right here. Starts
Okay.
here and goes. Okay, we'll do yours.
Oh,
Exactly
mine.
right. Yeah, yours shows up perfect. Yeah. So yours
Perfect.
is very long, skinny line, okay? But yours is a double thickness. Most people don't have that. Take a look at your hand.
Hmm.
You have a
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
thickness on that lifeline. That's very good. We call
Okay.
that Father Earth. That means your
Mm.
feet are on the ground. You've never been an airhead a day in your life. It means you care about humanity, community, environment, animals, the weather, all kinds of things. And so when you
Mm.
have that, it's called a gift from God because that means that you have the white light from God all over you because that light, because you're Father Earth, so you're protected. Then you have guardian angels and and guides and other things. But the main thing you have is the double thickness is very rare. I don't see that too often. When it's on a woman, we call it Mother Earth.
Mm.
So that means feet on the ground and never flighty or, silly.
Yeah.
So on a lifeline, I look for a lot of things like that. Then I look for illnesses. I look for
Right.
when they're young, if they had ear, nose, and throat. Then I look at when they're a teenager, did they have trouble adjusting? Then I look at all the way through their lifeline. Then the love line is my favorite one to talk about. And I have a book
Oh.
called Soulmate Connections. And I wrote that because I get so many people want to know, where's my soulmate? Why
Yeah.
don't I have my soulmate? Where is he? Is he going to stay forever if I get one? What do they look like? And
Yeah.
nobody knows what a soulmate means.
Mm.
They ask me all that, but I say, so what do you think it is? They say, I don't know. So a
Mm.
soulmate means you lived here before. It's called reincarnation.
Okay.
It means you came back as somebody different than you were last time. But we all have memory banks in here, implants. So however many times you have to come back, there are memories of that. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you don't think of it now, but your system knows. So, for instance, if you drowned in a past life, you aren't going to drown this time. You learned that lesson.
Okay.
Okay? So the love line is two people, and it looks like this. On the hand, it starts on the thumb side of the hand. So
Mm-hmm.
hold the hand up. And it's the thing that looks like a chicken wishbone, a big V. Here's it right there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's two people who tie the knot. But sometimes it's
Oh.
not. It could be a union of two people. It doesn't mean a marriage every time. So two people could live together for 8 years, or two people could be two men who are very best friends and they connect. Doesn't mean gay. It just means they connect. This
Right.
is a connection.
Okay.
Okay. Then I look at that to see if it has the base on the bottom. So it's supposed to look like this with the
Mm.
base on it. If it has a base, yours is right there. It means
Okay.
forever.
Okay.
If it has no base, it means it's open ended and anything could happen.
Oh.
Okay. Now, if it's got a slash mark on it, so here's this V and there's a slash going across like this
Like
on
the.
an
Okay.
angle, you don't have that.
Okay.
And that means that finality means finished. So it's either
Oh.
divorce or death
Okay.
or a big argument and they break up. Excuse me. So a V that's open ended isn't so good. It's better to be this.
Mm-hmm.
A V that's open ended and a slash mark just means you have a new beginning when it happened to you. So
Right.
sometimes out of failure or lose like that, you have success.
Got it.
Then you find what you really should have found in the first place.
So, Myrna, also, when you asked me for my palm, you asked for a print of the hand with which I write and eat, right? So, what's the significance of choosing
Because,
that
okay,
palm versus the other?
I believe that the hand you write and eat with is the one I should read because that's you. That's
Mm.
now. The other
Mm.
one is called Utopia. It's your wish hand. And
Oh,
everybody wishes the same thing, so I don't read that one. Everybody wants to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, go on vacations forever, never
yeah.
look at a price tag, and I don't want to see that. I want to see real, what's going on.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
And then you also asked me for my date of birth or my age. What is the significance of that? Like, what do you
I
do with
had to
that
know
piece of
where to look.
information?
I wanted to look. I don't know you, so I had to know up till now what to look at and then what your future holds. So I did that.
Mm.
So first I looked at today and
Hmm.
then where you are at this age. Then
Yeah.
I can project out, or I
Okay.
can go the other way, start with your birth and get up to today. So I like to know how old a person is. I'm not good at guessing.
Got it. Got it. Thanks a lot for that. Uh, now, here's what I've read. Again, maybe you can confirm that or let me know what you think about it. But I've heard that if there's a cross on each hand between the head and the heart line, then it's supposed to be very, very lucky. Is that true?
Right.
Sort of like, like a cross, right? Like,
Right. X's or crosses mean good
yeah,
luck. That's right. It means luck. So
that's
the
true.
way
Okay.
I look at it, if it's on your
Mm.
lifeline, you have luck with your health. If it's on
Hmm.
your love line, maybe you only need one marriage and it's perfect.
Okay.
If you don't have it, you have to work at it. So if you have wherever the X shows up, it's good. Or the T or the cross, you could call it what you want. Because an X is an X, right? But
Yeah.
it's also could be a T,
Yes.
be a T, or depending on how you look at the hand. You could be looking at it crooked and it looks like an X. You could look at it this way, it's a T. A double X is the most exciting one. That's where one is superimposed on another one.
Yeah.
Would be double, two of them.
Yeah.
Very few people have that, but it means double good luck.
Okay.
So it could be on work for somebody who just goes through life and gets every job they want because
Yeah.
they can't miss. They have double good luck on the work line.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
See?
And Myrna, you also written that palmistry reveals old and forgotten memories. So talk to us about this. What do you mean by this? The fact that it reveals old and forgotten memories.
Well, because everybody in their psyche has memories of their childhood,
Yeah.
their first marriage, what happened to them at different times. And so I delve in. I do a very in depth, deep palm reading. It's not superficial. You will meet a tall, dark stranger, things like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I have to look at their memories, which comes up off of the hand. I get a lot of crying, and mostly the men cry,
Mm.
believe it or not, because I hit them right in their solar plexus, and I get them, and they go, I must have an allergy. And I know they're crying because I got them where it hurts. But I said I have to tell the truth. So
Right.
when somebody sits down, I say, this may be brutal, but it'll help you, and you'll know which direction to go in when you walk out of here.
Mm.
Say, or when I'm done reading the hand. So there's three things I think of when I tell people in readings. I say there's three C's: choice, chance, change. So your choice you make. The chance is risk taking. You have to take a chance sometimes. And the change is what we all need, because if you don't change, you just are same old, same old. So everybody
Right.
needs to look at life as what can I do to make it better? What can I do to do this better than I'm doing it now? So
Hmm.
change is good.
Right. Right. So are you saying that even though we're reading our palms, we always have that sense of control over our destiny in terms of the actions that we take and the decisions that we make? Correct.
Right. You have control, but you can also make change. So
Right.
the change is up to you. Nobody can change anybody else, right? You have to
Hmm.
change yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about.
Right. So I guess the lines on our palms just provide us an indication or a blueprint in terms of where we're coming from and what opportunities lie,
Think
in
of
our
it as
future.
a map with a blueprint all over it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice. So can palmistry tell us about our past lives as well?
Right. Tells me how many times a person's been here. I'm
Yeah.
not really good on who you were. I can pick up one or two. Let's say somebody had 7 past lives. I
Sure.
can sit there, and the past lives is between the finger connectors
Uh
and
huh.
where the lifeline was on that part that you can push on, right
Yeah.
there, on the part you push on your hand.
Yeah.
And that if there's any marks there, those are past lives. See, you don't
The
have very many.
I don't have any. Okay.
Some people are so full here, there's no room to put another one. So
Oh. Okay.
every time you come back, your sex changes. So
Okay.
if you had to come back next time, you'd be the girl.
Okay.
You could be somebody's aunt, somebody's grandma, a 3-year-old little girl, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Your sex would be different. Now, this time you're you, last time you were a girl.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to come back, I would be the guy next time, but I'm done. I was only here one time,
Yeah.
and I was a male master palmist. And that's why it
Hmm.
happened that I got, when my mother gave me that book, it just went, come here.
I
And just
guess.
fell right into it. So she once asked me, probably 10 years after I was doing it, are you bored with this yet? Do you want to get into another hobby? And I said, you never get bored with this. This is perfect. I like
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Not too many people get to do what they like what they do.
That's true.
So I worked for 35 years in corporate, so I know. And I had
Yeah.
to do this on the side or on lunch hours or in my car before work.
Mm.
I managed to fit them in. Then I did fairs on weekends.
Yeah.
And so I started this full time in 1996. I quit my
Got
last job.
got
I've
it.
been doing it ever since.
It's wonderful. And
So
it's great that you sort of stick to it. You do not give up. It was your passion and you kept doing these things on the side, and then one
what
day
was an
when the time was
avocation?
right.
Yeah, an avocation became a vocation, and now it's the love of my life. It's my passion. I live it 24/7.
Mm. And Myrna, you've also mentioned that palmistry can heal a hurt and it
Okay.
can awaken a spirit. So
Well,
talk to us about a story maybe that you read somebody's palm, it really healed them, healed their hurt and awakened their spirit.
okay. A woman called me not too long ago that I had read 20 years ago. And she
Hmm.
didn't think I'd remember, but somehow I memorized every hand. So I said, I looked at your hand. I know what you did. She said, well, you can't see it now. We're on the phone. I said, I don't need to see it. I'll tell you what happened to you. You fell in love with the guy. You went away with him, and they had moved to Mexico. I
Mm.
didn't know that, but I knew she moved away. And I said, you bought property together in both your names, but you never got married. She goes, that's right. So, and I said, and now you broke up and you're sorry because you have nothing to show for that. He won't pay for year half that he owes you of the property. She said, he has no money. So
Mm.
so I told her, walk away and you'll be better off than staying there and fighting it with an attorney. So she said, I already did that. I didn't know that when I told her, but she was already back in the States. She walked away and decided whatever money she had invested, leave it there. He's going to fight her and he has nothing to fight with. He
Right.
didn't have any money. So if somebody has nothing to help pay your half off, you're done. So she was hurting. She called me to tell me that she, went through all this, which I saw the pain and the aggravation. And
Yeah.
then I said, and I see you're going to be on a new path and meet new people and start over. She said, I just started that. She just moved to a new house and she likes Florida, so she's here on the West Coast where I
Yeah.
am. Said, and I'm not that far away from you. So she's coming for a reading. But the thing was that the palmistry healed her because she looked in her own hand. I told her what was coming and I was right. And she ignored me till it happened. Then she admitted I was right. So it did heal the hurt.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot for sharing. And Action Tribe listeners, viewers, if you're watching right now, I know many of you are. We're also going to have two readings today for members of our Action Tribe Energy Circle. What we did was, I did a lucky draw the other day, and I told them that I'm going to be interviewing a palmistry expert, and she's willing to read a few palms, and then we had a lucky draw. So the winners are Kelly S and Annette P. I'm not sure if they're joining us right now, but maybe later on, if you're watching this, make sure you check this out because your palms are being read. And Action Tribe, if you want such bonuses, such freebies in the future where you get some perks from our interviewing experience, then go check out the Action Tribe Energy Circle at my7chakras.com/join us. My7chakras.com/join us. So, Myrna, whenever you are ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with AP.
Hmm.
And so she wrote me, I saw her hand,
Hmm.
and here's what she said. She has longevity that shows to the mid 90s in her hand because the gene pool she comes from is pretty good. Her IQ at the end of the line is really great. And she had most of the childhood stuff like ear, nose, throat, all the illnesses. But the problem is her immune system kicked in at 8, and usually it kicks in at 5. So
Hmm.
she was a little sickly till about the second grade. Then she got stronger. After the age of 8, she was able to fight off every germ that came down the pike. Before that, she got sick every time somebody was sick near her in school. She got it. I believe she was born left-handed, same as you. I think she's a righty today, so she needs to fold her hands up and see what thumb goes on top. And it's an automatic thing. You just go, whatever thumb is there, that's who you really are. Um, she has some of the same tendencies as a left-hand person, which means she's creative. She has good thought processing. She's not afraid to take a chance. She's willing to think out of the box, a lot of that. Her hand presents no life threatening illness that I could see. She has many interests and she's a very lively personality. She shows 17 past lives. So I say normal is 4 to 7. So she's like 10 above, but I only yell over 20. So that's okay. That means she's been here 17 times, so she's 1,700 years old plus this lifetime. That's
Mm.
pretty old. So that means she knows 1,700 years worth of things that I don't know. Because I'm only 100 plus this lifetime. So you count this lifetime as one. I have to count each one as 100 years, even though you might have lived only 35 during the time of Christ in the past life. That was what they did back then. But I call each one, every line I see in that one area, I call it 100. So when she comes back next time, she'll have to be a man because she isn't finished. She has more to, she's got to come here to complete more. She hasn't done what she came to do. Her system needs to do something. So her DNA or the memory banks that she has shows that she's got a lot on the ball. She's easy to talk with. People like her because she listens and she asks questions back and forth. She's inquisitive. Um, let's see. She will have found and completed what she came to do the next lifetime. So she'll be here 18 times and then she'll be done. So that means you fulfill your karmic payback debt. So she'll
Mm.
come here and finish. If you do something like that, the lesson that you learned never happened again. You're done. That's why she isn't quite done. She lived in one
Mm.
of the past lives during the time of Christ, which is what I said. She also lived during World War One, and that's all I could see on the past lives. On the love line, it says she found the opposite sex at 14 or 15, but she wasn't allowed to go out yet. She had crushes, but nobody knew about them because she was shy. Friends or girlfriends might have known, the boys didn't know. There was no permanent connection at that age. Your soulmate symbol is the pyramid by the wrist. So hold your hand up because you have one. Put your hand up. Your
Mm-hmm.
hand.
Me? Yeah.
Okay, so the pyramid is this thing down here by the base of the palm, and she
Yes.
has it. And it could be an Indian shaped thing. No, that right in the center, right in the center of your palm, right there. Come down, go forward towards your wrist, right there. And
Okay.
so that thing, if it's there, means you're supposed to end up with a soulmate. Once you find that, you don't have to come back. So it presents, hers presents in the early 30s or 40s. And that was when I first saw it. So that means either she's going to meet somebody in the 30s or 40s, already has, but that's a soulmate. And it could be dramatic and the love affair of the century. This area is already pink on her hand, so it shows that it's now or very soon. The
Mm.
soulmate is a partner she had in another lifetime back there. And they find each other this time, and I found mine this time, so that's how I know. When you find your soulmate, you're complete, you're finished, so you don't have to come back. I'll show you mine.
Mm.
Anybody can see this. Here's mine. Can you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah.
So a soulmate means you complete what you came to do. You found that person, you're done. That means you still have to work at it. Doesn't mean it happens by itself. So she's easy to relate to. A soulmate has no bickering, arguing, no fighting, no sexual tension, aggravation, or frustration, and you get an equal. So she did that. On the work lines, it says she's had several jobs in her younger years. Now she's on a career path. She can teach or demonstrate at work to get people to give her what she wants and needs. She has a lot of X's on her work line, which means the luck is running for her on work. And
Mm.
she puts out 110% on any job she takes. Other people might put out 70 or 80, and she just can't stop. She just does as much as she can do. She can't stand it when people look busy and act like they're fake when they're not working. They fake their work, but she doesn't. She looks like she wants to do something else, but she doesn't know what it is. And I think she was a school teacher.
Mm.
The path she walks right now is the one it's a perfect fit for this time in her life, but she's looking for other greener pastures. And bracelets are the things on the wrist here, the rings. Let's see,
Mm.
these rings right here that you can count, or your rings are showing. And rings, each one equals 25 years. So yours is showing 50 right now, with the next row trying to come in. And she's showing 75 at this time. And each link on this bracelet is made up of the letter C. It's squishy, and it
Mm-hmm.
becomes an O when the person completes or finishes whatever it is. They solve a solution to a problem, figure something out. Then the C becomes an O. And a bracelet is made up of a whole lot of links here. The links make I got a big one. There. The links are the finding out or completing things. So she has 75 years showing already, and they come as you live them, and hers are coming. And if you remember in school, they taught us if you chop a tree down, we know how old the tree is. You can read the leaves. Well, every living thing has a way to read their life. And so a human, it's the bracelets. A dog, it's inside of their mouth. The vet can look in a dog's mouth and they know how old it is by the roof of the mouth. A blade of grass, somebody who knows how to read it can pull it out and tell you how old the grass is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was her thing. So every living thing can be determined that way. So, okay. So now I'm going to do KS.
Yep.
And so hers came in, longevity shows mid 90s also. So they both come from strong people who go, I will never quit. I will do this if it kills me. And they were fighters. So she's a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to go to 120 to 130 because anybody under 50, including you, will see that because of technology. So modern science will come in, medicine, uh, all different things will happen. And whoever's lifeline showed 90 could go to 100 and beyond. So people in the 20s and 30s are going to see 120 to 130. So her IQ at the end of her lifeline looks like she has a quick study mind that gets into information quick. She likes to research or do work. And she's good at talking to people and interviewing. And she had a lot of childhood sicknesses. She overcame them all. And she's okay now. It says she will probably never need a hospital, a wheelchair, a nursing home when she's old. She'll just be normal all the way, have all her faculties. That's worth $1 million right there. Handed, but she carries the left hand characteristic, same as I do. She does things her own way and she wants it to be her way. So it doesn't mean stubborn, it means she's determined how she does things. She possesses a drama that is something many wish they had, not the drama queen. We're not saying that. It just means she's a dramatic personality. So she's right handed today and think of herself as being unique. And she is. She has many interests and she's lively too. She shows 4 past lives. So she's 400 years old plus now.
Okay.
So each one of those is she was somebody else. And it says she's so normal, it's boring, but I like it. That means that she's really right on the ball.
Mm.
Each time we return to this dimension, I said that before, that the sex changes. So she was a man, a woman, and somebody's grandmother already. So next time she'd be the guy, or she may be grandmother this time at some date. So she has 4 memory bank implants inside her DNA. Um, Her palm shows her ascending. This is her final trip. She doesn't have to come back. And this tells me she found or completed whatever she came here to do this time. And I can't get her past lives because sometimes I get them and now I can't get them. Out of 17 on the last one, I got 2 or 3. This one I can't get any. But I don't lie about it. I can't get them. Sometimes her hand is a bit complicated. That's probably why I can't decipher it. Her love line says she found the opposite sex early, about 12 or 13. She had crushes, but she kept that to herself. She connected in the early 20s, and that lasted a long time, but it looks like now it might be gone. She either married for 25 years and repeating it with the same person, or a new one comes in at that age because she's showing a double fork. She's showing a fork, and
Mm-hmm.
then below that, another fork. So she has 2 forks. So it means either remarriage to the first person after 25 years or a new person comes in at the 20 around that time. She has the soulmate symbol at the wrist, same as the other one, which means she's supposed to end up with somebody from a past life, meaning reincarnation. She came back to complete their togetherness. They had something and then one was taken away. That's why. So let's say it was grandma and grandpa. And grandma died in the hospital and grandpa didn't get there in time to say goodbye 500 years ago. This time it's grandma and grandpa, but it's her and they're not grandma and grandpa, but they're replaying that over and over in their head who they used to be. So they will know them and they know you. It's like hugging yourself. A soulmate is like hugging you, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really the other person. And it just is warm and cozy and wonderful. And they're also an equal. Her work line shows she's held a lot of different jobs. And she learned the value of money at a very early age, either with chores or babysitting. And she might have had a box where she kept it, but all of her money sitting there. And when her
Hmm.
earnings are concerned now, she knows how to manage her money. She grew up learning that so that she knows that she has X number of dollars to put away, so much to spend, so much left over. So that's her parents probably raised her to know about money. She has a lot of X's on the work area, which shows me she's lucky in work. And she can put a lot of energy out in every project she takes on. She's always been interested in humanity, and she probably should be working in sociology or work with people all the time because she loves people. She could be in a medical or social field. She could lecture or write or teach because she has a lot in her head from different situations that she's come into contact with. She has a bright mind. She's a fast learner, and she pushes herself to take on more all the time. And I think sometimes she needs to
Hmm.
stop, take a break, walk on the grass, get her energy back, and just become lazy for a day or so. Her bracelets, she has three showing, which is 75 years, because each one is 25. And each link is something she had to make a decision about, and she doesn't have that many. So that's good. She had three or four each time. So the first 25 years, your parents make most of them until you're at least 21. And
Hmm.
then make mistakes, they're your own mistakes, or you have to correct something if you made a boo boo. So that was their readings. So I hope they liked them. I had fun reading them.
Great. So, Annette and Kelly, I hope you enjoyed these readings. And Myrna, since we've got many listeners watching this right now on YouTube and on Facebook, for someone sitting at home right now staring at their palms, what should they be looking for? I mean, any small piece of advice that you can
Well, it
share?
depends on what area they're interested in. If they want to
Okay.
know their health, if they want to know love, or if they want to know work, you have to
Yeah.
look in that area. And
So
if
let's
it's
say soulmate, because yesterday I had posted a question in my
because
Facebook
I
group
wrote a
and
book
we,
on soulmate. So the
yeah, yeah,
area
yeah.
down here by the wrist,
Okay.
the
By the
thing
rest.
you had right there,
Hmm.
is the soulmate mark. So I made up that if a person's other baby finger could fit in that slot, so put your baby finger in the slot from
This
the
is my
other
right
hand.
hand, by the way. Left
Take
hand, right?
this hand, put your left hand up, and put your baby finger in this little slot right there. No,
Hmm.
up, up, right there. If your finger can get into that hole or that slot,
This
so that
sort.
it
Okay.
fits like this. Here's a slot.
Hmm.
Finger has to go in it. If it fits, that means it's a fit. It's a match. Okay. So I just made that up, but I do that because I like to involve the person I'm reading when they're in person, and if you get them doing things with you, it's
Yeah.
psychology, but it
Hmm.
works. Now, if anybody's hand on any of the areas we talked about, which is life, love, work, reproduction, bracelets, turn red or pink, pink means now. See, my
Mm.
hand's all normal colored.
Yeah.
See, there's no pink. But if there was a bright pink somewhere, that means change. Yours doesn't have any pink either. One of the girls that I read did, and it
Mm.
was on KS, had pink on one line, which is it's
Mm.
like going ooh ooh. It means any minute it's close. So when a person has their blood pressure comes up for something because they're excited, turns red.
Right.
So like you get engaged, that's exciting. That love line's going to turn red.
Yeah.
See? So that's what they should look for, is the area that they're interested in.
Got it. Thanks a lot for sharing. That is some actionable advice. People who are watching right now can definitely, look at their palms and glean some advice. We've got so many questions. We've got so so many
You know
people.
what? In 1967 in America, every medical school made the interns take one whole day of palmistry
Mm.
because on newborn babies, they can see if there's any heart defects, if any of the organs need anything, shows up on the lifeline and they know where to look. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, yes, definitely is. And Rachel asks, can you retell how to use that pink slot action to determine if you're
You
actually
know
going to
how to,
meet
the pink
yours?
slot. Okay, you didn't do it exactly right. I don't have a mark on my hand, but here's my hand. You take the baby finger from the other hand and you put it like this.
Oh, like that. Okay.
See, and you did it across. You did
Mm,
this. I
mm,
want to. If it fits in that thing that looks like an Indian teepee or a pyramid or a ball, it could be any shape, but it has to be right there. And some people have this, what I have, which is two lines here, and they can go up the line. I can't do it backwards, but like this, if it fits up the this is a slot. I call it a ski track or a,
This slot?
no, you don't have it. This is
I
what
don't have that
you
slot. Okay.
have it closer to your wrist. Take a look at your hand. You have two little stripes right there. Those
Mm,
little stripes, if it fits in those little stripes, that counts too. So tell
mm,
Rachel that.
okay. Got it. So Rachel, I hope that was clear, and I hope that you now
Well,
know where to look.
okay, if it fits in there, it means you're supposed to have a soulmate.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Got it. So, Action Tribe, if you're enjoying this session so far, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button on your iPhone because it'll ensure that you do not miss out on any new episode that we release. Once again, to save time, make sure that you hit the subscribe button on your iPhone or any device that you're listening to this podcast from. I hope you enjoyed today's session as much as I did. And you now know a bit more about the mystical practice of palmistry. There is so much that we still do not know about how the universe operates. And through the interviews on my show, we piece by piece make try to make sense of it all, right? And one thing we know for sure is that our imagination is more powerful than we think. Once we decide on something and we hold it in our imagination and we feel it as if we already have it, then the universe can't help but make that imagination come into reality in this physical plane. And that's just how powerful our mind is. And countless people over the years have proven this phenomena to be true. So as we move into a brand new decade starting in 2020, raise your vibrations, tap into the power of your subconscious mind, because you might be just one step away from a transformation, right? Because as Neville Goddard once put, dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and then watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment.
Well, that's a
and with
well.
and with that, we've come to the last round for today, which is called the wisdom round. 4 questions so that our listeners can take notes and take action. And this is sort of like a rapid fire style question round. So,
Okay.
Myrna, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Well, I tell people to be yourself, look people in the eye, and don't be a phony. Because a lot of people put on false faces, or some best advice is be yourself.
Be yourself. If you could turn back time and spend 1 hour with someone who is dead or living, who would it be?
Would it be my first husband who passed away, and I would have a conversation with him. So,
Great.
okay.
A- And what is that one thing you do in the morning or maybe in the evening before you sleep that has improved the quality of your life these days?
In the morning when I wake up, I have to exercise first. Then I
Hmm.
sit down and I meditate for maybe 5 minutes. And I just
Hmm.
get real calm and quiet because after you exercise, you're all awake already. And then I go back down into the period of quietness. So it's mindfulness so that I can plan my day, think what I want to get done, and then go do it. So it's actually like a little checklist I go through in my head. Okay, then at night before I go to sleep, I do something nobody else does. But when I lay down to go to sleep, I type a letter to God in my head.
Hmm.
I imagine I have a keyboard in front of me and I'm typing, Dear God, comma, and then I say what I have to say. I never get through the whole letter before I fall asleep.
Wonderful.
So
And if you could recommend one book for our listeners today, what would it be?
the book they should read is by Dwayne Dwyer, and it's I have it over here, and let me find that. It's a book that I just read the other day that I love, and it's
Yeah.
The Power of Intention. It's the one with the 365 different things every day you do things, and it's the same thing as the law of attraction, but he's calling it intention.
Intention. Yeah.
And he wrote 17 books, but that's my favorite one. So The Power of Intention. And just read it probably 3 days ago. Went through all those pages. So I think everybody has a challenge. Intuitively, they get a message from their guides and they're challenged to do something. And some people ignore it, and some people listen. So I think they should listen to the inner self or their inner child that's trying to tell them something.
So, Action Tribe, would you like to listen or receive one audiobook for free? Because audible.com is offering all our listeners, all of you, one free Audible download with a month long trial period so that you can get to check out this new service where you can listen to a book instead of read a book. And in most cases, the author himself or herself reads the book out to you. So, if you like to try this out and get one free credit of an audiobook, go to my7chakras.com / free book. It's my7chakras.com / free book. I'm not sure if they have this particular book by Wayne Dyer, but he's written many books, and you're sure to find at
Like
least this
what?
book or maybe some other book. Yeah. So, Myrna, thank you so much for joining us today on this show
Thank you for having me.
and giving these readings and talking to us about your story. I mean, it's crazy to think about. There's a person who's done over 58,000
I'm at
readings.
56, 959.
Yeah, and so many readings that you've done.
6,959. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so fabulous for you having listened to your calling and taking action and not giving up and really inspiring people around you. So appreciate you for doing that. Before you go, tell us one thing that you are grateful for today and how can we find you online?
Okay, I'm grateful that I've got the strength that I have to do everything that I do because I'm in a lot of
Mhm.
activities. And
Yeah.
at my age, a lot of people sit on the couch and I never do. So I'm grateful for the health and the strength that I have. And they can reach me. I'm offering 50% off for anybody that hears this show. And you just have to say seven chakras. And normally I
Hmm.
charge 100 for a reading, and I would do a complete 5-page type report for $50. And the only way they can get it is they have to email me at MLG, those are my initials, at MLG at Myrna Lou, and it's spelled MYRNALOU.com. And if they email me, I will give them the special link that they can get it at half price. And I use PayPal. And I wrote the book called May I See Your Hand Here. I don't know, can you see that?
Hmm. I can see that.
And that was the first book I wrote. I wrote 4 of them. And every one of my books is on my website. And the website is www.myrnalou.com. So it's MYRNALOU.com. And if they look that up, there's website won a lot of awards. And also, I was voted 12th best palmist in the world and 6th best palmistry website in the US. And that was by Alexa, Bing, and Google going together by how many hits a place gets, how many hits your page gets. And I have over 700,000 hits. So that's why I won
Wonderful.
those. So those awards feel good. I like that. So people can email me with questions if they want to find out how to get a reading if they don't go to my website. So they can email me at mlg at myrnalou.com and say, how do I do this? And I'll explain it to them. But I need the hand you eat and write with, like I told you, your age and your name. That's all it takes. And if you want it emailed back to you, I can email it. If you want it snail mailed, I can do it that way. A lot of people don't want anybody to see their email, so they want it
Mm.
private. They don't want me to say it out loud. So sometimes I do it the other way. It doesn't matter to me because I spend an hour to an hour and a half doing each reading. So the ones I did today, I spent a half hour on each one of those, and those are just an overview. That isn't even the real reading. So if I didn't like this, I wouldn't do it, but I like it. So I hope I hear from some of your people.
Absolutely. We'll have this link up in the show notes as well, Action Tribe. Before we end, if you really enjoyed today's episode and if you consider yourself an Action Tribe member, then you will definitely love the Action Tribe Energy Circle. Our membership portal has just gone live a few days back, but this is a place where you can learn how to heal, experience more awakening and abundance, where you will have access to mentors who will provide you training on a variety of exciting topics, including discovering your purpose, activating your intuition, attracting more abundance into your life, and how to use yoga in every aspect on and off the mat. So, if you're curious and you'd like to learn more, go to my7chakras.com/join us. My7chakras.com/join us. We're doing a quick promo for our founding members at this point, but you can learn more over there. If you're on Instagram, then take a screenshot of this amazing episode with Myrna and tag me on Instagram so that I can share your story with our community. My handle is at my7chakras. That's at my7chakras. And Myrna, are you active on Instagram?
I really had a good time. I enjoyed everything about it. So it went
Okay.
fast, didn't it?
It went so fast.
Just like that. Yeah.
But you're not on Instagram, right?
No, but
Okay.
you know what? You're a really good interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm just a vessel for wonderful conversations, and it was all you. And it's great to reconnect with you and to learn some more about this fascinating practice, which I'm very fascinated by. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on our show, talking to us about palmistry, Asian palmistry, and
Thank
taking
you
us
for having
one
me a
step
second
closer
time. Yeah.
to a human revolution. Thanks everyone for joining us. And as you know, you get a 50% off for Myrna's service. Make sure you check that out for sure. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.